M. Hamel then starts his lecture and says that the order has come from the Berlin and this is the last day when he will be teaching French because the Prussians has won the war, German language will be taught and German teachers will be coming in place of Mr. M. Hamel. Now Franz understands, okay, that was the notice that was there on the town hall. And that's why these people were saying, don't worry, school, you will reach in time. M. Hamel starts his lesson. And there is a very quiet attitude, everybody is listening. And then the turn of Franz comes. He asks Franz, it is his time for reciting something, it is his time for telling something about participles or anything. But again, Franz wanted to answer. The order has brought the change not only in the people but even in our little France. The young France is now feeling, why didn't I pay that much attention to the language? Why didn't I pay that much attention to the studies? Why didn't I study the classes as I should have? Why I didn't bother in time? He feels that he is fearful about the ruler and he knows that Mr. Hamel is cranky. Cranky, rigid, very strict, and getting irritated very easily. Yeah, just like me, maybe. So what does he do? Mr. Hamel again is in a very somber and very gentle way tells Franz that don't worry, I know that you are very much frightened. I know that you have not given time to your studies in the way that you should have. And now you are suffering. You are not able to answer. And because you are not able to answer, you are feeling embarrassed also. Now, thing is, he then doesn't only blame Franz. He blames the parents also, because the parents who are sitting on the backbenches now have not paid that kind of attention to the study or the academics of the students as they should have. So he blames the villagers or the parents also. And then he doesn't stop at blaming Franz, students, parents. He also blames himself, the teacher, telling that if your parents asked you to go to the farm and work and earn something and help them in their home chores or household chores, Hamel himself sometimes when he felt like not teaching and going for fishing, he gave them the holiday. Unnecessarily, it was not a holiday, and yet a holiday was been given by the teacher himself, by the school itself. Then the thing is, he's saying, I even asked you to water my plants. Had I known that the time is precious and each and every minute of time has to be utilized in the best possible way, I would have not done. The parents would have not done, and the students would have not done that mistake which has happened. And now it is the last day and hence it is the last lesson. The last lesson is the most important lesson in the lives of all the three areas: the teacher, the parents, and the student. After blaming, he then goes and reads some portion of the grammar. And Franz is wondering that today everything seems to be so easy. I am easily understanding each and everything that Mr. Hamel is teaching me. Why? Why it's so? He realizes that this time he is quite attentive in the class. He now realizes, is it not the same thing with all of us? When we lose something, we realize its value. Time when it is lost, we realize its value. If I would have been utilizing that time in a proper way, it would have been much, much, much better. Franz realizes that he is now understanding each and every word of the grammar which he never understood earlier, but now he is understanding. From grammar, then he shifts to the other history area also, the textbook area also, and the language area also, and also the development of writing skill area, wherein he gives a question and everybody is quietly. The only sound which can be heard in the classroom is that of a pen which is making a scrapping or scribbling noise on the paper. In between, some beetles come, but nobody gets disturbed because of it. Everybody is busy in writing. This is the last lesson. Even a pigeon comes and makes some noise, but again it doesn't bother, but gives a thought to Franz. Would German language will be taught to these beetles and pigeons also? Now this is an important point, 12th class students, please note it down. Why Franz thought of pigeons also being taught German? This will be the questions. In this, if you read the paper pattern, you will learn that there will be 2-3 type of questions which will be coming. One will be 20-30 word answer questions which will be of 2 marks, and the other will be 30-40 words answers which will be of 3 marks, and then there will be an LAQ which will be of 5 marks. So 3 types of questions are going to come in this final exams with this revised syllabus and paper pattern, which you should be aware of, as I told you at the start of my lecture. Now, if everybody was busy and he's thinking and everybody is doing the work and the atmosphere, Hauser then rises up and says something, and the way he says, people want to cry and laugh at the same time. Cry because it is the last lesson. Laugh because the way Hauser was speaking was quite humorous. This chapter is also telling us about M. Hamel as a philosopher also, because now he is telling that if you are if you are enslaved, if you are in a prison, and if you have your own language, that would be the key to your success. Your success will come through your language. And then he also guides the students who are sitting over there, that how will you feel if someone tells you, you look to be a Frenchman, but you do not know how to speak French. You do not know how to write in French. It's like a Hindustani not knowing how to speak Hindi or write in Hindi in a proper way. And we are learning a second language over here, English core. And Indians are good at it. Tell me. I can tell you that we Indians are good at learning languages, provided we pay attention, which we normally don't. But if we do, we are good. We are good at learning 2-3 languages easily. Indians are known for that. Anyway, so M. Hamel is saying the key is in the language. How come the key is in the language? See, the key is in the language because it is the language because of which you express yourself. Language is not to impress anyone. Language is there to express yourself. And your expressions, if they get power because of language, you can communicate your feelings to your countrymen, and slavery will not be a slavery then. That's one of the areas. That's one of the areas which we all need to work about. M. Hamel then rises up, and it is almost at the end of the lecture. The time is about to finish off the school. And he says, and he's choking, he's not able to speak. Even when these students are writing their lessons, M. Hemmel, Franz observes that he is sometimes looking at that window, sometimes looking at that roof, sometimes looking at the floor, sometimes looking at the board, sometimes looking at the pen. He is already missing. He is already missing. He knows that tomorrow he has to leave and some German teacher will come and he has to leave that place. He is already developed a relationship with his classroom and school, and he is already started to miss. Somehow at the end of he leans his head and he is not able to speak. He is choking. But what he does is he writes this on the board. Vive la France, which in English means long live France. This is what he does at the end of the chapter, and that's why I said this chapter is not only about language. It is not only about the chivalry of the language, but it is also about the chauvinism of the Germans, about their own language. They are disrespecting French, they are respecting only their own language. This chapter is also about that. The questions will come. The questions will definitely come, which will ask you about the chivalry and the chauvinism which is there in the language arena also. He is also talking about the love for country and the language. So Alphonse Daudet, in this story, this chapter, the first chapter, the last lesson, is trying to tell us so many things. Those things. See, students, the questions which you need to do are something of this type. You should be going through all the think as you read questions. You should do also the understanding the text and also talking about the text. I hope you have understood the lesson, and if you have not understood the lesson or something, some doubts are there, you can call me or you can make a comment and I will answer it. Thank you very much. Have a nice time.